Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another Fuse Meet show. Very welcome to be here. And this week we have got Luka from Voltage Finance. How you doing, Luka? You doing well?
Doing well, feeling Christmassy.
Feeling Christmassy? You're looking very summer holiday, I would say, rather than Christmassy. Where are you right now, catching a tan?
I'm in Thailand right now.
Oh, lovely. The digital nomad lifestyle in full effect. I love that. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we're here with Luka from Voltage Finance today. So, we're going to dive into what's been going on with Voltage throughout 2023 and catch up with that, and then look at the future for Voltage and what's happening in the immediate future and looking through to 2024. So, we've got Luka here with us to fill in all the answers. If anybody's got any questions, please fire them into the chats. If they're good questions, we'll put them out there. Please avoid trying to ask questions about Fuse because we're here to talk about Voltage today. But if the question's pertinent, we will, of course, answer that. So let us dive headfirst into the world of Voltage today. So what's up, man? It's been a real big year this year. It's been a crazy year. So let's just touch down on the most essential points for Voltage. You know, what's changed, what's new, and why should people be paying attention, Luka?
Yeah, sure. Well, before we dive into this, because there's a lot to say, I just want to remind or tell people that don't know me who I am and what is Voltage in itself as well. So let's start with Voltage first. Voltage is basically the go-to DEX on the Fuse blockchain. Is where most of the volume goes through, most of the exchanges. It was also the first DeFi protocol on
Mhm.
Fuse, and we've been working very closely with Fuse to grow the ecosystem, grow the DeFi ecosystem, grow the features, and attract users and on board actually very new users to DeFi onto DeFi, right? And my role into this has been to be the marketing manager at Voltage, so I'm the one responsible also for the community. I
Mhm.
try to help people through issues, but most importantly, I try to grow our awareness, brand awareness, and audience over time, and user base. That's about it.
Super important job at Voltage, then, Luka. Just a little bit important, right?
Yeah, just a little bit, and just to say, like, I want to loop in your question. This last year has been tremendous for Voltage. I before I joined, so I joined a year ago, and in that year we have been building a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna only gonna say a few because those were the main most important. And we've been really working hands down during this bear market to really provide value whenever boom markets come back. And I think we are in this moment, exactly this moment. So if I go back on what we built Fuse liquid staking, so the first liquid staking on Fuse. We just launched a Vault mobile app, so like a DeFi custodial mobile wallet you can have with you,
Yeah.
where everything looks very, very, let's say, simple to use. But I'm going to dive deeper into this later. We also built the first launch pad on Fuse, which in October launched Miracle, so the first protocol on Fuse. Very proud about that. This went very successfully. And also Vivo, so like we changed the governance mechanism so that it favors more long-term holders of gold to take decisions on our DAO. So yeah, a lot of things to come, and we have a lot of exciting things as well that we are planning with a goal to 10x our volume over the next year.
All right. Big goals. We'll dive into that at the end, I think, and we're really going to dig into
Sure,
how
sure.
you guys plan to achieve these goals. 10x is a good goal. So yeah, let's dive into that a little bit later. Okay, thank you, Luka. Thanks for that, man. Like, so if anyone's not got the gist, Voltage Finance is the leading DEX on Fuse Network. And that's why we're here today discussing the changes. And one of the main things for Voltage is their mobile application. So just thinking about that, it's been quite a big change for Volt. You've launched the app. Oh, sorry. Let's go over the campaign results, Luka, because you guys have recently
Sure.
just done a campaign.
Yeah.
Feedback on that, because I know it was pretty successful, right? So tell us a bit more about that.
Well, yes, this there has been ups and downs in this campaign because first of all, let's say the traffic was massive. We didn't expect
Yeah.
so much volume. We had it was crazy. We had tens of thousands of wallets created both on iOS and Android in a matter of 2 weeks. The campaign was originally planned to reward 10,000 users for completing a liveness check. So basically, taking a picture of you within the app that gets verified through a third party, that way we know you are a real user and we want to
Yeah.
reward you for that, right? And so that's what we've done. And we actually got way more than 10,000. We got up to 25,000 in 2 weeks without even pushing a real big social media campaign. It was just low-key in-app notifications and a newsletter as well, so like a mail. By the
Nice.
way, if you want to subscribe, go ahead on Voltage. And yeah, the results were really massive. We really had great engagement, and actually from all over the world. It's not like we've checked the data, right?
Yeah.
This wasn't like an attack or something like this. This is genuine, um, like genuine traffic from different countries at different times as well, with people completing liveness checks. So this is not doable. Like you cannot do a liveness check 10 times. It's not possible. You have to have a
Yeah,
new number. You have to do face. You have to
that's one of the things that I think is quite important just to mention. I saw there was a comment on the App Store saying, oh, why are you asking for people to register their faces and things like this? And the answer is pretty straightforward, right, Luka? If we just let people open accounts with no verifications, like you said, if we're doing a campaign, you can have 10,000 downloads from a robot, which then picks up rewards. And this is, number one, not fair. Number two is just not what we're trying to do. Number three is just straight up crappy to have that happen. So that's why we're not doing that, right? It's pretty
yeah. And I would like to say that this is not KYC because we don't hold any document. It's just like verifying you are actually a human. That's it.
Yeah, we're just trying to check out that you're actually a human being. That's it, guys. Don't worry too much about it. Like, as long as you're human, you'll pass, so you'll be all right. All right, cool. So it's really good to hear that the campaign was successful and that actually, like, you're kind of a victim of your own success in that you've had so much traction. It sometimes causes problems, but this is the nature of what we do, right? So it's
And by the way, on this, I would like to touch point a little bit, also answer like community requests that we had over the last 2 weeks
yeah,
because of this campaign. So a lot of users were complaining that they would not get the rewards, right? When I'm saying a lot, I'm talking about 300 people. Well, compared to 25,000 that complete live sec, it's rather a small amount, but of course these are the ones complaining, right? And this is like normal, right? This is normal, definitely. So we always welcome them with open arms on this, and we actually solved that problem of the claiming there was a little issue with like too much volume went through the app, so we couldn't distribute rewards in like a seamless way, if I can say it like this. But now it's available again, and I'm actually going to post today, right after this call. I'm going to post a blog post answering all the questions that we had to go through what the results of the campaign as well, and what actions you guys need to do if you got the verifications done and not the rewards. Well, you have all the steps to follow in an article that's going to drop after this AM.
nice.
Just to say that everyone that got verified is getting the reward.
It's good to touch on that, Luka. I think we know how this industry works, right? So it's that's the message there. That if you're waiting, then don't worry. We are on it. Luka is on it. All right, cool, man. So I mentioned the mobile app a moment ago as well, and like one of the biggest changes is the Vault app. So the mobile app that's available on iOS and Android, and that it features now, recently, its latest update is full account abstraction capabilities. So I don't want to dive too deeply into account abstraction because it's a dev topic really. But what I do want to talk about very quickly is just, Voltage is building on Fuse and it allows Voltage to build this product. I mean, Luka, tell us what the core ambition of the Vault app, like its simplicity, right? It's not supposed to be.
Yeah, definitely. And you're 100% right here. Basically, for us, Fuse is the most user-friendly blockchain there is, right? Because you have very fast transactions and very low fees, right? Like I'm talking like under a cent, right? And on top of that, in essence, Fuse tech stack has allowed us to release account abstraction on the app and get it as close to Web2 experience as possible. When I'm saying this, I know Web2 is a bit of a bad word in Web3, but actually, if we want to onboard massive amount of users, right, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We want to make sure that the experience stays quite similar to what they know, so that they don't have that much barriers to entry, right? It's not like they're going to drop off because this is too complicated, right? It needs to be very simple for them in order for them also to onboard and to adopt this new way of doing things, right? And actually, I'm going to talk about it later probably, but there's some very nice things coming with the AA as well that Fuse is allowing us to do.
Beautiful. I think it's just important to touch on that because for builders looking for a platform to build on, I think you can take a look at Voltage and see it as a great example of what's possible on Fuse. And that's kind of the point I was trying to make here as well, that you can just download the Vault app, check it out. Maybe it's fitting for your business or your operations and you want to start incorporating this and you can see how it works there. So yeah, man, I just wanted to get into that a little bit. But on the account abstraction side, if there's any developers out there listening, we've got tons of content on that on the blog. So please do go check it out. We dive really deep into those subjects as well.
Yeah, and also like switching to AA, like if you were users for the Rope app before we implemented AA, which was months ago, you can migrate to AA very easily. It takes you a couple of seconds to migrate. You just have to click on a button.
We had a video for this, right? And it shows
Right,
the
yeah.
UI really. Let's show that video, Luka, because we're talking about this simple UI and like how nice it looks. Let's show people. All right, one sec.
Sure.
Let me grab that. Whoop, 1 second. Let's make it look better. There we go. Looking good. Pretty easy, I would say. Like one of the things to highlight there is the UI of the app. I think it looks very familiar, I think, to people. So that's a great thing. But yeah, like what was that, 20 seconds? It's great.
It goes very fast. The only thing I need to mention here is that if you use your app before to connect to the DEX, for example, and you have like LP positions on DEX, then before migrating, please withdraw your LP positions, because when you migrate, you get a new address. And you will not be able to get your funds back if you don't withdraw them before switching. But if you have like, for example, I don't know, Fuse or Vault tokens in your wallet, there's nothing you need to do. It's going to be automatically transferred. But if you have LP tokens, please withdraw them before.
Good point. If anybody's got any questions about that, then just shout after the live stream, and we'll be sure to answer those for you as well. All right, cool. So we spoke a little bit about the tech side and building on Fuse and these things, but one of the other things that's been happening at Voltage is a bit of a change of personnel as well, right? So Voltage has been around for quite a while, and the community have seen and should probably expect some more changes for the team at Voltage. And I'm not talking about the tech side here. I'm talking about the team in place to help achieve the goals that we're going to talk about in a moment. So Luka, do you want to dive into that a bit? Because there's been a few changes there, some new people coming in. Just tell us a bit more, man.
Yeah, for sure. The team is basically being replenished. We're trying to make it a better fit to help every out of our product to have a clear go-to-market strategy as well. And also, we want to expand our team on the BD side of things. We want to expand on BD, partnerships, reach outs, and all that stuff, because Voltage has a lot of room to improve and to grow. And we definitely want to look at every opportunity we have for this. And also, another thing that is very worthy to notice, we have a new liquidity manager. His name is Sasha. He came in a month ago, a little bit more, approximately a month ago, and he's really helping us into managing our liquidity on the DEX and how to also incentivize pools. And we are starting to create plans that goes also with marketing together to incentivize certain pools. We actually launched a trading competition together 2 weeks ago, which is ongoing until the 2nd of January, with 5K rewards to it. So like the team is expanding. We are exploring new venues as well. And also we just extended, if I could say it like this, extended, I don't know, our LATAM, our ambassador program. So we had an ambassador program months ago, right? And those ambassadors are still with us. They're doing great. However, we want to grow our ambassador base in Latin America, because we've actually been to an event there and we showcased the app, right? We showed it to people, and we also made it like for trial. People could try it on the booth we had there. And we saw good traction there. And also we have a lot of users that are coming from there. So we want to make sure that we create small groups of very highly focused people that know Voltage and know our product and want to distribute it through their network as well. So we are expanding our ambassador program to LATAM, and there's a high chance we do this also in other parts of the world later on.
Nice. So full-on expansion, and ambassadors are really important. Like I think it's really important to touch on this as well. Like those people out there on the ground, speaking with people, showcasing the app is so important, especially at events, like you say. And we did get great traction at the event in Argentina, wasn't it? Which doesn't surprise me, given the sort of economic situation over there as well, that there's quite a demand for such products as Voltage over there. So that was really great to see, man. All right. So, Luka, at the beginning, you laid out a number. I think you said 10x. So now I'm obviously going to ask you, how are we going to go about achieving this 10x? And like the vision future centers on onboarding users through to DeFi through very easy to use tools, just like Vault. So tell me, man, like what plans are in place? Like you can keep it high level for sure, and we can dive in a little bit, but let's open up on 2024. What's going on? What's going to be happening for Voltage, and what should people expect to see? And how are you going to get to where you said you want to get to?
Oh man, I'm so excited for 2024, man. There's so much we want to do, and I believe this is the year too, right? I believe this is the year. The market is back up. We have a team that is fully structured and a team that is ready as well. We don't stop building. We actually have great plans for the year. I'm going to post an article on this probably at the beginning of the year to just mark the, like put a milestone to it, right? The beginning of the year as like a note to our community that what we're trying to do, right? So I'm not going into too much detail today because I want this to be more on paper, right? But I'm going to go on the high level, as you said.
Yeah.
Two things we're targeting. First of all, we're targeting 10x trading volume, and I'm talking about across the DEX and the Volt mobile app. And also, we're targeting 100K weekly active users on mobile as well, which is a lot of users for us today, right? So, thing is, how are we going to achieve this, right? There's two angles. There's a product angle of what features and what UI improvement we want to do, and there's the marketing one as well, right? So there's those two blend together in order to push our products to the world. First of all, on the product side, let me say just that we are working on a new DEX. And when I'm saying a new DEX, not like the UI is going to be completely different or whatever. It's just we're building on what we have already, but we want to introduce new contracts, right? We want to improve liquidity with concentrated liquidity as well, more efficiency on liquidity management. Also for our users, will be much better. This will also grow volume. Then we also want to list new tokens, right? Thanks to Fuse again, that build a great bridge now with layer 0. We have access to immense amounts of tokens we can also list on both, right?
Yeah.
So this is what we want to do as well. Then we want to introduce index tokens. This is something that I'm personally very excited about. Right? Bringing like tokenizing assets on chain. This is a narrative that has been going on for years now.
Years, right? Like we were dreaming of this like 4 years ago. I wanted to build a house on the blockchain, right?
Yeah, but I think these kind of like of assets are definitely the ones that are going to onboard millions of users, right? If you can have access exposure to an asset with an on-chain way, let's say, I think this is definitely something that people would be willing to do. Like I would want to have some SP500 on the blockchain, for example, even though it's not as volatile as crypto, but maybe this is the way, So this is very important. And also, you mentioned it, right? In the countries we're targeting, Africa, South America, also Europe, there's inflations there as well, right? People are looking for ways to come up, like to protect themselves from inflation. And I think those tools would be very easy. Imagine you can just in 2 taps on your app buy some SP500 right? On chain. There's this also. We want to do a whole Vault tokenomics upgrade. I want to stay secret on this for now. But yeah, there's plans there as well. And finally, this is probably also very important to mention. We want to introduce a lot more user safety on our protocol, right? We never had a hack, but we'll still want to make sure we prevent it, right? So what we want to do is we want to audit each contract we post, new contracts we're gonna add to the DEX as well, and also we would like to introduce some. This is very Web3, but we want to introduce some insurance, pool insurance. So like if you deposit funds, you can be also insured that whatever happens to the DEX, you're going to get your funds back too. So this is also something we're really looking into doing as well. We're a third party as well. And then on the marketing side, well, I talked about it a bit already, but like we're really going to focus on user adoption in the sense that we want to onboard users that don't know how to use DeFi, right? We want to onboard them through the app, and then slowly but surely, with educational content, help them also navigate to the DEX with their app, right? Because you can connect the app to the DEX with the wallet connect.
So
That's going to be,
would you say that like they start on the mobile app, that would be a good journey to start with mobile and then transition over to the DEX to get a little bit more knowledge and start to
yeah,
experiment as well, right?
that's the idea, right? That's the idea. The Volt mobile app is supposed to come with you wherever you go, right?
Mm.
You're supposed to be able to swap, send, receive funds, and also stake your crypto. And if you want to do more liquidity provision, for example, or participate to a launchpad or stuff like this, you would need to connect your wallet to the DEX, right? And this is for more experienced users, right? And we also have, like most of our users today are quite experienced, to be honest. We have very much new users through the app,
Yeah.
but the ones using the DEX are quite experienced, right? They want to help everyone go through a journey of like coming from Web 2, then discovering the app that is very close to Web 2, and then from there exploring more DeFi opportunities through the DEX.
It's a lovely soft entry, right? Like I remember my entry, I was actually looking at my MetaMask account to see when my first transaction was and stuff yesterday. And I was just like, oh my God, how did I actually do that? It was like 5 years ago. I had no idea what I was doing. I wish there was a soft entry. Okay, so one of the, getting a little bit, not theoretical, but getting a little bit off the beaten questions. We're potentially approaching 2024 with very optimistic eyes, looking at it as a potential start of another upward cycle, I would say. Now, Luka, I think you and I both remember the DeFi summer of 2020 to some extent. Yeah. Now, what I'm kind of wondering is, in your mind, do you think we're going to see a repeat of such events that we saw in 2020, where people are not really digging very deeply into things, but just looking for quick money? Or do you think we've evolved a little bit further? And the reason I'm talking about this is because of the things that you've said about Voltage. Number one, you've been around for like 3-4 years already. You're not didn't arrive yesterday and you're not going anywhere tomorrow. And that the investment in time is on a long-term play here, and that the DEX is very important. So that's the reason I talk about it. And possibly some people don't even know what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is DEX is popping up on Tuesday and rug pulling on Thursday and taking with it a lot of customer funds. And I'm kind of leaning 50-50 on what I think is going to happen this time. Like, I really hope this doesn't happen. Like, you know, all the dog swap, cat swap, sheep swap that we saw. But what do you think, man? Like, how do you think this is going to play out this time around? Like, just purely on your thoughts.
All right. Yeah, very good question. Very interesting question. I actually looked into this myself as a daily DeFi user.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, you know, is the DeFi, let's say, user base growing? And like it's difficult to track, because if you're tracking wallets, then you know, like I have like hundreds of wallets. So
Yeah.
it's not like I'm only one guy, but I have hundreds of wallets. It's very difficult to track how many users are actually very like active on a daily basis or weekly or monthly basis, right? But the closest measurements I was able to find through like crossing June Analytics and other analytics websites is that we are about 5 to 6 million users on a weekly basis in DeFi. And we are projecting, the projection is that we're going to be 22 million, so like times 4, in 2028. So that's in about 4 years.
Another 4 years. So
those projections are only made on math, not adoption.
That's
right?
just
This is very different. So I would see this as the least optimistic part. I'm more optimistic, honestly. Also being in the space, interacting with it, seeing how fast it evolves, how engaged people are as well. And to respond to your question, so I do believe there's going to be a big inflow of users, and also probably users that don't even know they're using DeFi. Right?
That's the thing, right? That's the thing, yeah.
But people. I still believe this this space is in infancy stage for a lot of things, and again, we lack education on a lot of stuff. So those decks that are going to pop off and then rug pull are still going to be there, but the amount of people that get tricked probably less.
That's what I thought, but then the real pessimist inside me is like, the human greed aspect's going to shine through once again, because, you know, I always, anyway, whatever. Okay, interesting. That's what you think. I mean, we're going to see how it's going to play out. But another reason I mention it is because I think to onboard people into DeFi, it's got to be simple, right? To get real true mass adoption, it's got to be simple, and it's got to be useful, and it's got to be better than what you've already got. So that's why we were talking about the Web2 UI, because if I give you something that's not as good as what you've got, you're not going to adopt that. Like, it's just plain and simple, right? Like in anything, whether it's a car or a pencil or whatever it is, like it's got to be better. So,
Well, like to give you like a little insight, I've been traveling for the last 2 months in Southeast Asia, and I did talk to local people, and some of them are using crypto to send funds overseas to their family.
Interesting. And they're transacting in dollars, I take it, right?
No, in like dollar-backed stablecoins.
Damn. Well, it makes perfect sense. Like it's always made sense for remittances. Companies like Western Union charging silly percentages on people moving money. And that's why we're seeing traction in countries where those services are more in demand, right? Like in the African continent, we're seeing traction. In South America, we're seeing traction because these things are more in demand. So perhaps it's rather than, there has to be a problem to solve, right? We can't just come out and start making problems up and then solving them, which I think is what blockchain has suffered from for the last kind of decade, to be honest. It's like, it's a solution looking for a problem.
And also to come back to your question about like DeFi adoption, I think it also like it's a cycle, right? It comes with booms. If you go on a DeFi Llama right now and you look at the chart of DeFi TVL, well, you see it just follows Bitcoin price basically. So if the whole ecosystem pumps, then of course DeFi is going to pump. People are going to hear about it. People want to join. Just like us, right? At the beginning, we were just newcomers, beginners, and at the eyes of making a few profits or discovering new technology, then we came in the space and then wanted to learn more because it's an amazing space. And at some point, we just become a daily user, right? But this is a journey, and we want to make the journey as short as possible with the Vault app, where you have all the simple DeFi actually you can do, but also the educational content within the app.
Yeah, because there's levels, isn't there, to go through as well. I think it's a really important part of it. All right, cool, man. I think we've nailed everything we wanted to get through today. We haven't got any really pertinent questions, so I'm not going to dive into any of those today. Everyone's just giving us some love. People saying, what's up? How we doing? We're all good. Thank you for asking people.
Thanks for joining, guys.
Yeah, man, really cool. So thank you, Luka, for joining in today and outlining what's going on. We're going to do many more of these. And as you said, you're releasing an article in the very near future that's going to, number one, answer a whole bunch of questions that people have been asking. And then there's a roadmap coming next year, and there's all sorts of things happening. So we just wanted to sit down today to just quickly go over some of the results and talk about some of those things. So thank you for joining us. Is there anything else you want to get out there before we end for the day?
Well, I would say stick around for what Voltage has in store for the next year. And if you don't have it, download your Volt mobile app here and complete liveness check. That way we know you're a real user. The campaign is ended now, so you don't get a reward, but still you are poised to get more rewards in the future.
Exactly. All right, man. Thank you so much for your time, Luka. And thank you everyone for tuning in. This content will be available forever, so you can head over to YouTube and check that out to unpack anything we were talking about, or to find out if there's some more questions that you've got. Just fire those at us, no problem. As I said, download the app down there. You can do that. And see what you think. Let us know. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care. And we'll see you again next week. Actually, I will be here. So see you soon. See you later, guys.
Bye.